Working remotely can be a challenge, especially for teams that are new to it. How do you deal with your work environment being the same as home while staying productive? At a time when teams must come together more than ever to solve big challenges, Trello's here to help. Trello, part of Atlassian's collaborative suite, has been powering remote teams globally for almost a decade. Trello keeps everyone on the same page, helping teams communicate, focus, and connect. Try Trello for free and learn more at Trello.com. That's Trello.com.
Welcome back to the Silver and Black today here on CBS Sports Radio, 1140 in Las Vegas. Yes, the city that continues to persevere. And one of the projects, as we know, when the governor decided to shut down the state for the protection of Nevadans, there were essential roles. There were essential jobs that needed to continue. Of course, we know about those men and women on the front lines in healthcare. We thank them today for putting themselves out there and doing that, as well as our first responders, everyone else dealing with this issue. Also, Nevada and Las Vegas particularly was having a booming economy, lots of construction, and that includes, of course, Allegiant Stadium. And joining us now is our good friend and early supporter of this show and the website. We thank him forever for that, Tommy White from the Laborers 872. Tommy, how you doing this morning?
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Doing good, buddy. Thanks for joining us. And first, I want to just get out of the way. We reported on it on the website. Of course, this week, one of the workers out at the stadium tested positive for COVID-19. But as we were told, and as you told us as well, that this was only a person who was on the site a couple days. What's been the impact of that positive test for that one worker?
So, hold on a second. Let me set this thing up. So,
yeah.
Let me just start by saying this. If it wasn't for the precautions that we put in place on the stadium prior to that one individual testing positive, it probably would have been a lot worse, right? But it's because of all the steps that we put in place at the stadium is the reason why he was caught so early. The gentleman was on the site for 2 days, and from what I heard yesterday, is he's up and around, and he was hoping that he was going to get back to work, but we all know that's not going to happen. He's going to have to get a release before that happens. But our job sites, and I say this as a whole, our job sites, not only just the stadium, but all the construction job sites out there that I know of that are ran by both some of the big union contractors and non-union contractors. We put, strict precautions in place, and it's helping, and I mean, I've taken a lot of crap over supporting keeping the stadiums open, but at the end of the day, keeping the construction going on. But at the end of the day, here's what happens, and I know this because I do it myself, and I hear this from all the workers. When we learn something at a construction site, 99% of the time, we bring that something home, right? So when we learn what the precautions are and what we need to take care of and how we need to wipe things down, we bring that home, and we train that to our families. And then our families go ahead and they talk to their cousins and their friends, and they tell them what we're doing out there. So it's kind of like creates like a domino effect, and it actually helps everybody out. And, we're very fortunate. We had one person. He was taken off the site immediately. He was tested, and it wasn't that we found him on the site with the virus. He said he felt sick, and from there we tested him, and he had a fever, and then he tested positive. So, and I mean, we had 2 people so far, knock on wood, 2 construction workers so far in the town test positive. Both of them are okay. Both of them, they're not in the hospital. They're taking care of their issues at home. And that's because we caught it early. And if they weren't on a construction site, we wouldn't have caught it early. So
Well, no, and Tommy, I think that's one of the things you mentioned. I mean, this, of course, this has been extraordinary from a circumstance standpoint with all the projects. And again, you have folks everywhere, not only on the stadium, but on the Sphere project, on Resorts World, on the major road projects here throughout the state of Nevada as well. But safety is always and has been number one priority for the Raiders, for you, for everyone on this site. And this falls right in line with that. And to me, the response was remarkable. And for those people who say, hey, listen, this is just a football stadium, I said immediately, Tommy, these are people too. There's a lot of folks that are hurting right now. They're out of work. Why would it be a good idea, especially for these types of roles of people working on these major projects that are so important to the future of our community, to put them out of work and impact those families too? It was the right decision to make, and I credit you and other leaders for making sure that we were able to do that. How is the morale out on the site and amongst all your other folks on different projects as well?
The majority of the workforce out there, and I'd have to say at least 95, 99%, they know what they're facing when they go on a job site. They know what they're facing when they leave their house. So, I mean, with the whole social distancing going on, and we have plenty of sanitizers out there, I mean, we must have sent out over 150 laborers in the past 2 weeks. Specifically, their job is to wipe down handrails, to wipe down any type of area that would be, very hand access. If you're walking through a turnstile or something, those are getting wiped down. The porta potties out there, we have one individual that stands in front of them that tells everybody, you need to wash your hands. I mean, these are a lot of things that we're learning right now. Some of the things that I've been trying to get across to people is our town is built on tourism, right? So if we were to stop these projects that were going on, I can tell you right now, and I'll say it publicly, in a public forum, that if we were to stop construction, people are not just going to flock into Vegas anymore.
Right.
It's going to be a long time before we start getting plane loads of people coming here for vacation. Or coming here. So to continue building the stadium and to continue building the convention center and to continue building some of the resorts that we're building, that is something new. People will always come to Las Vegas because it's something new. If we didn't have these projects going on, it would take much longer to bring the tourists back to Las Vegas.
Yeah, and again, we're talking to Tommy White from Labor's Local 872 about the stadium and construction and the safety of the workers out there, which is always first and foremost job number one. And Tommy, that's what I know you guys too, as a labor union, have been taking care of your folks too, making sure if someone is sick, they get in. You're not, even under your health plan, you're not charging co-pays, all that stuff. That is so essential. And going back to the tragedies we've had in our community, with 1 October, you guys stepped up, did a lot of work there as well. That's the one thing that is remarkable with not only the Local 872, but with that crew out at the stadium. I was out there shooting drone video yesterday, and I saw them practicing that social distancing. I saw the people you're talking about, and we can all learn, actually. I mean, we go to grocery stores here, and they have those squares now, so you're 6 feet apart and all that stuff in the line. But you guys are really setting the example. It's a job well done. Now, we get to the stadium itself, Tommy. I was out there. I had a lot of questions about the roof. The framing is all the way up. There's also is that protective sheeting, that white puffy material that we're seeing on top of that? Talk about where the process is.
Yeah, that's probably going to wind up getting peeled off when we get the whole thing up there. We need 45 days. Actually, we're probably about 40 days right now to complete that roof. And I mean, that was a big issue for us because the last thing we wanted to do is stop work out there, leave the roof open, wind up losing tens of millions of dollars in material and costing that project more money, right?
Right.
So we're about 45 days away. I mean, no matter either different ways that you look at the roof. Sometimes you look at it looks like it's halfway done. Sometimes you look at it looks like it's a quarter way done. But at the end of the day, we're about 40 to 45 days away from completing that. Once the roof is complete, I mean, we're going full bore on the inside also. Of course, this coronavirus has slowed us down a little bit because we got to really pay attention to everything that's going on around us and who's close to you and who's within 6 feet of you. But this virus will change society forever. And I mean, it's just something that we have to face. And on the brighter side of it, it's probably, you're going to probably see a lot less people in the future sick, because they're going to actually always look at coronavirus as a way to not to get sick anymore. So you're going to see a lot less people with the average flu. You're going to see a lot less people with the average cold. And, listen, if there's anything we're learning from this, it's how to protect ourselves, how to make sure our areas are disinfected. My daughter runs around the house disinfecting everything. So, I mean, we have to get back to the basics with Las Vegas. And I'm happy that they kept us going, because it's going to give tourists a reason to come here.
Absolutely. And Tommy, I want to just tell you how happy I'm here. Your family and you are doing well, and all the folks in the local 872 who've been such a great gem for our community, and also just out there always doing great stuff in our community. Thank you for all that you're doing. And you're right, Tommy, you've seen it. You've seen downturns before, including the big one in 2008, 2009. We'll bounce back from this, and I know the stadium is one of those projects, and we'll get you on again as we get closer to that roof getting done. Thanks again, Tommy.
All right, guys. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too, my friend. All right. Tommy White from the Laborers Local 872. Always appreciate him joining us and telling us about the stadium. So everything's full steam ahead, as you heard. It's time for us to step aside. When we come back, we're going to talk about your favorite Raider moments. What were they? Either live, on television, what they were. We did a story up on the website about that. We're going to talk about that. We'll hear from Chaz and Kelly on theirs. You're listening to the Silver and Black today here on CBS Sports Radio 1140.